Hey guys, Metal Viking 82 here, back with a new Viking Orations. Got another review for you today, and this time I'm going to talk to you about the brand new third full length album from the band Altar of Betelgeuse, entitled Echoes, out now through Wise Blood Records. And if you're not familiar with Altar of Betelgeuse, they are a doom death band from Helsinki, Finland, been around since 2010, featuring, and I'm apologizing ahead of time because I know I'm going to butcher these names, Juho Karioja on guitars, Alexei Olkala on drums, and finally Matthias Nastelin handling bass, guitars, and vocals. As I said, this is their third full-length album. It is 7 tracks and just a little over 42 minutes in length, and not only is this their first album in 7 years, it is also their first album for Wise Blood Records. And, prior to getting this album, I had never heard anything from them. I knew the name, but not the music. They were in that list of bands that I wanted to check out because everybody was talking about them, but I just never got around to it because I just kept forgetting with all the glut of, music that is out there to check out. But one day, Sean, the owner of Wise Blood Records, and I were actually chatting on Facebook. And as we were talking, he was like, hey, I got something I want you to check out. And I was just immediately taken by this band upon listening to this album. And I have since actually tracked down both of their other full-length albums, which I will be talking about in a future collection update. But yeah, when I was listening to this brand new album of theirs, I just loved the drum production, the performance on here. I think Alexei really hits with some authority. He's, not doing anything super fast or flashy or anything, but he really hits those drums with authority, almost like he's getting his angst out by hitting the drums. But I did love his pattern rolls and fills. Great snap to the snare, great kick sound, just all around really enjoyed the drums on this album. This thing is full of solid guitar work too. I mean, there's some really nice solos to be found. You get a nice mix of these slow, heavy riffs, because of course this is doom, with the more mid-pace sections, and they're so emotive and just really give things a real somber atmosphere at times, and at times they even feel just a little bit oppressive in their nature. I thought Matthias's bass tone was nice and thick and twangy, sitting right up in the mix, really laying down a solid backbone to all of the songs. Vocally, he utilizes a very powerful and very intelligible mid-range growl, but he also occasionally does these really unique clean vocals as well. Think like a more croonier or croony style of Joachim Broden of Sabaton, and that took me a long time to figure it out, because the more I listened to this album, I was like, man, what do those clean vocals, who do they remind me of? And then I got to listening to it more and more, and it's just like the singer for Sabaton. He's like, he sounds similar to him, but almost like a more croonier version of him. It sounds like a weird description, but just listen to his clean vocals on this album, and you will see how unique they really are. Some of the things that I picked out while listening to this album, which, I mean, there's just so much to pick out on this album, but a couple of things. Track number 5, Salvation. I love the opening groove to this song, which actually does appear again later in the song, but this groove has this, slow, heavy, chugged riff, rumbling bass, and this really cool drum beat. It just really gets your head nodding as you're listening to it. And the more I listened to this album, the more I listened to that song, every time it came on, I was like, who does that remind me of? What does that remind me of? And finally, it clicked with me. It actually sounds a little bit like the song Midvinterblot by Unleashed. It kind of even has a similar bass tone to it. It just sounds like almost like a slowed down version of that groove. It's not exactly, I'm not saying it's a copy of it, but it has that similar vibe to it. It's just like a slower version of that same groove, that same vibe. But yeah, really enjoyed that, because again, Unleashed is one of my favorite death metal bands. So, and that song in particular is probably my favorite song ever by them. And then the following track, the title track, Echoes. Not only is this song the longest track on the album, but it is probably the slowest and heaviest track on this entire album. The bass in this song is just absolutely ominous sounding. I mean, it's so badass. Definitely goes for one of my favorite tracks on this album. Overall, I thought this was a fantastic album, in my opinion, and just a hell of a way to make your label debut. I mean, it's crushingly heavy, yet with melodic touches, emotive riffing that just really create a somber atmosphere. And all these songs are anywhere between 4.5 to 9+ minutes in length, yet they're so well written and executed, you barely notice. You're too busy being crushed impressed by the, you know, magnitude of the music and the oppressive feel that these songs can create in you. This is definitely a band worth not only investing your time with, but also your money. I came into this never having heard anything from the band, but I left a fan, and this is definitely an album I think you need to check out. So yeah, go check out the brand new Altar of Beetle guys. Pick up their other albums as well. Support the band. Support Wise Blood Records. I will be leaving a link down below so you can check this out for yourself. This gets a solid 9 out of 10 from me. And yeah, that is going to do it. Thank you guys so much for watching and subscribing. And until next time, stay brutal.